Samir Arora is a market master today, founder and fund manager at Helios Capital. Samir, good morning. Great to have you with us here as always. Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. You know, I was in the morning, we were just chatting and I was saying that I should keep expectations low. And my co-anchor Surabhi and Reema were saying that I'm being too philosophical. And, you know, if we beat expectations, then the market will do well in any case. If it doesn't, then you're not too disappointed. How are you looking at it, Samir?
This we are talking about expectations every morning from the market or from the budget. So I have higher expectations every day from the market than I have from the budget. Every morning, I think now it should be okay. Yeah. So budget, the thing is, for whatever reason, whether it's discussion, pre-discussion, or these corporates meeting and then, you know, making us feel in the past, that's because they made this representation as if that is about to happen. This time that discussion has also gone away. The chatter has gone away. So therefore, in that sense, yeah, there is no expectation. I agree.
It's actually so exciting for Samir, by the way, that Samir is reaching office. What time tomorrow, Samir?
Tomorrow is a holiday, so I don't come to office.
No, it's not a holiday.
It is a holiday.
No, it's not a holiday.
It is a holiday in Singapore, so I can see the same. I can see you guys from home.
I don't have
to.
Doesn't matter. Markets are...
We have, you know, every time these guys, and I've been doing it for 20 and 30 years. In the olden days, when I was in Alliance, I used to fly to India for the budget and we would sit in a room. And I don't remember every episode, but literally every year we have lost money trying to trade that day.
But so, you know, Samir, and to that point, I still remember all our conversations last budget, July 24. So usse to acha hoga, because that's when 10% became 12.5%, right? So it can't be.
Interpretation.
Oh, okay.
I'm talking about my interpretation trading that day. Only in Feb 18, I got it perfectly right when the capital gains tax was increased. And that day, in our long short fund, we shorted nearly 20% index of the whole fund. Okay, so quite many hundreds of crores we shorted. That turned out to be all right. But broadly speaking, on these individual stocks, there is this allocation, that allocation, which I used to do more in the olden days, or railway, something has increased or something has increased. All that has been not 100%, 99% given up.
No, because those are budget day trades. So therefore, thank you for the candor.
Not work.
Exactly. So it's one day here and there, and then it fizzles out. But, coming down to...
Just to finish that point, it's on the day of the budget. Even if you're right, sometimes you're wrong. Because, you know, you'll be right for the first half, and the second half,
it could be very different.
It'll turn, and it's happened so many times.
Yeah.
My best story is that I was in the CNBC office in Singapore on the day when this retrospective tax on ITC or whatever was introduced, and nobody knew about it. And I said, very good budget. And it actually was the worst budget we've ever seen, or at least in many, many years. Because we didn't know about that while the talk. And that's why you don't see me on budget day on TV. I come after budget.
No, but I remember, and you're being so candid, and we really, really appreciate that, and on live television. But must say, now to come back to the larger philosophical point, Prashant has been telling us to just keep expectations low. But I'm saying that in July, when capital gains tax was increased, the market had to deal with a real blow. At least no one's expecting, that kind of a shocker this time. If anything, market has got its hopes up again. I'm hearing people say lower STT because STT collections are now touching almost 45,000 crores. So on taxes, are you, hoping for or expecting anything realistically?
I'm expecting, but it may not be material. So I am thinking that since the chatter is there and it is logical that the government has given some incentive to the corporate sector through lower taxes in 2019, and they've done something for the lower this thing in terms of giving food and subsidy, and the states are giving, that you might do something for the middle class or for the taxpayer. And that also is coming now, but I've been saying it for the last 30, 40 days, that, there is some scope, maybe $4-5 billion, say 30, 40,000 crores. But if you divide that by number of people who may get it, say, I don't know, 2 crore or 3 crore taxpayers, it'll come to 8-10,000 rupees or something like that per annum. So you can get that much. I think it's possible to make it a little fair, and because the chatter and the people getting upset nowadays, at least on Twitter and others, which anyways middle class guys on Twitter, they are all feeling a bit upset in life, and I can see that because I am a lot on social media. Yeah.
No, why wouldn't they, Samir? Na? Because in the last budget, again, and to go back to that point, the super rich got a surcharge relief. Now the super rich can be in the new regime. 43% came down to 37%. Middle class didn't get anything. So maybe fair point. But Reema,
so that's what I'm expecting. But I was talking when we were talking that what do we do with it? Okay, suppose we know, suppose we think and it comes, then what are we supposed to do with it in terms of which stock to buy? We said we don't know. Therefore, we said, let's forget about trying to figure out, because even if you know this, what will you do tomorrow? Will you buy a consumer staple stock or will you buy Zomato? Because you
will you? Will you if there is some sort of a reasonable relief to at the middle level? How would you not trade it that day, but in general? Would you make any changes to the portfolio?
I don't think it will matter because it's let us say in a family you're getting 600-700 rupees per month. Okay. Now what will you do with it? Because inflation is there. Secondly, the basket of people have changed. Will they order one more time Zomato or will they change or buy an extra lipstick? Who knows? Because in the olden days, these things were much simpler to do. Or maybe there'll be a telecom price hike after a few days and some of this money would have gone away or whatever, 600, 700, 300, 200, whatever. So the point is you don't exactly know what to do if the amounts are otherwise small and nowadays the basket is a bit wide. So you will say good and thank you and on behalf of everybody and it'll help the consumer sector. But now which stock will they go to McDonald's more? Where by the way I own that stock also, which has been a dud for 2-3 years, but before that was good. So will you go one more time to Westlife? Who knows? But
Samir, as a broader call for consumption, do you prefer staples or do you prefer discretionary stocks like the Trends and Nykaas and Zomatos of the world?
I don't consider Zomato as a discretionary stock in the sense it is just replacing what you were doing, which is why we like those kind of stocks where you are not trying to say that the customer has to spend more money. It is just reorienting. That's why we like the quick commerce. He's not spending extra money. He's just making it convenient for him to buy this via this channel versus that channel. I don't like the consumer staple because I think that the consumer basket has expanded to beyond just upgrading a soap or something because monsoon has come, which was the old formula. In the old formula, when I was in Alliance Worli, we would see if there's rain outside our window in Bombay and then you would go and buy levers and you'll make some 5-10% in 6 months. So those days are gone. Now you don't know. There are private labels. And then the customer himself or the consumer himself has or herself may want to buy something which they can show on social media or in a photograph or in a selfie. Some of these things, who knows? Big picture.
Those sound like simple days. Samir is saying you could watch the rain and then think that, okay.
Yeah, those days were great days. And that also in Bombay.
Easier to make money, now it's too complicated. Don't even have to step out for a channel check.
Outside our office.
And then you buy a lever. Fantastic anecdote from the past, Prashant.
No, it used to. It used to be. It used to happen. I think even 10-15 years ago. But of course, not anymore. Samir, but what is the market looking like? Has the structure weakened a little bit? Are the go-go times behind us? What is your sense now? I mean, budget will come and go.
Market structure has become right now, this month. By the way, today morning I was saying that this month has been very strong. If you call this month the Chinese New Year month, because that was 2 days ago. Depends on what is this year. But this year, in terms of the calendar year of the Western world, has been tough because the companies doing badly have been penalized much more than you would normally expect. So if you are slightly off, they are down 8-10%. But over time, somehow we are not feeling negative in our bones, maybe because over time we have eliminated these stocks which used to have either very high leverage or some personal leverage or shares that were leveraged, or something where it was a government type stuff where, an order is not coming and so the guy is bleeding to death. But still, this has been a tough month. But somehow I'm not feeling that negative because, as I say, the world is doing well. And if the world is doing well, we are not such thorough idiots as a country that we will be negative when the world is positive. You may lag them, you may underperform them, but you are not supposed to have negative performance. That is not what I have seen for so long. And also, the flows still come. Even we, as a small mutual fund, still get flows. We even get flows in our PMS, in our AIF, in our offshore long short fund. This month, actually, we got more than 25 million in our offshore fund, which, normally don't get in a sort of a bad phase. But the world is not going to give up so easily, because the world otherwise is happy in life. So they can be a little unhappy to here or there and that.
No, absolutely. But is there a bit of a factor change in terms of what will do well from here, or you think it'll be the same? So, people were chasing high growth and ready to pay very high P multiples. You think people will now, and one should look at slightly maybe steadier growth. You don't have to go for the...
So the point is, our formula always has been that we want both hands. We are not such dumb people that we can, in a country which is 1% of the world, say we will analyze only 30% of that market. So we have a few stocks which are of this high growth, like, say, the one which you're talking about, Policy Bazaar, growing, say, 40%, but has high valuation, but it looks that it can grow like this for long. And on the other hand, we'll also have these ICICI banks and HDFC banks, and also these IT guys, which if they grow 2% instead of 1.8%, the stocks go up a lot. So I don't want the market to decide for me. I will have a mix. And maybe on the margin, you will say, okay, based on results, buy this more or that more. But I am not going to be a prisoner to the market that I only buy this and then I will wait 5 years for my turn to come. And then I will make a lot of money and outperform. And then again, the guys investing that day will be underperforming because they are coming when that cycle is doing the best. There is no need when you are managing a small country in the world where the rest of the world fund managers can invest in 40 countries and in 30 instruments and in debt and in commodities. And I, even within India, can't be at the simultaneously buying one Zomato and one HDFC bank.
Okay, so it's a buffet. So
package,
have a make a nice plate, which I think you've done. Samir, I don't think we can convince you to come to office tomorrow. You enjoy your holiday, watch us on TV. But Monday morning is when we speak
Monday
again.
morning, I'll see you. I would have analyzed all what your guests say.
Lovely.
Then I will conclude what I think.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant, and we look forward to that Monday call, Samir. You have a fun Saturday watching us on the sidelines. Thank you so much.